Yo, 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 welcome to the Mando Huddle. We are your hosts. We are the often imitated, never duplicated Cowboy Lorian. And I got my host with me.
What's up, everybody? It's the one and only Jetta Lorian. Welcome to the show, man. What's up, Cowboy
Welcome,
Lorian? What's going on,
welcome.
my brother?
We back another week. Thank you for hopping on. Dallas Cowboys, how you doing? Of course we got an intro. You have to have an intro. If you don't have an intro, what are you doing? Rosa Rodriguez, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. So, you know, we got another great show for y'all. There's a lot of things we can actually talk about when it comes to the NFL and what's actually been going on around the league. So, let's actually hop into it. So, Jet, around this time, you hear a lot about holdouts. What player's gonna hold out? Which one's not gonna show up to camp or OTAs or mini camps or any of this? So what are your thoughts on players holding out and not showing up to team functions?
I mean, it's part of the game. It's unfortunate, but you're gonna have players that are gonna want to get paid. But I mean, for us, the fans, it's a problem because we want to have our team there and the guys that we're depending on and hoping that are gonna be there show up. So but it's over. It's part of the game, Cowboy Lorian, man. It's part of the system already. It is what it is. What about you? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, yeah, it's one part of the game that needs to go away. I understand players want to get paid and stuff like that, but that's the reason why the league put in the rules that they've put in to discourage it because now teams, if a player held out prior, players could hold out as long as they wanted to, and it was up to the team whether they fined them or the player kept the money in their pocket. Now that's
Right,
not an option. If you hold out, you are getting fined every single day you are out. Now, when it comes to OTAs, I could care less. That's why it's called optional.
right.
If it's optional, I don't care. Do what you want. If you want to train away from the team, train away from the team. You want to be in Cabo all spring and summer long, have at it. But if it's a mandatory thing, I would rather the player be there and hold themselves out of being actually a participant, but they're still with the team.
Right,
Because
right.
now you're losing money out of your pocket. Case in point, Zach Martin last year. And then, of course, you have Bosa for the Niners. They lost almost $5 million last year for holding out, and they couldn't get any of
Right.
that money
Oh,
back. So I don't know what these agents think about, holdouts and getting fined and losing money. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not losing money. I'll show up, but I'm probably not going to participate because I want a new contract. But at least
Cowboy
I'm
Lorian,
there.
hold on a second. I'm having mic problems. Give me a second.
Uh oh, they're falling on you.
Yeah, it's acting up. Hold on one second.
Alright. Shadow, how you doing? What's good, Mister Rapalot? How you doing? Thank you for hopping on. Uh, don't F with America's team. How you doing, boss? What's going on? What's good? Thank you for hopping on, man. See, their microphones like to fall, don't they? Always the fun part with these mics. They do not like to stay where they're supposed to.
Yeah, cycling up.
All right, Mr. Rapala says, a Jets fan in Houston. How scary are the Texans going to be? Well, Mr. Rep, I'd have to say they look scary on paper. Show me what they look like on the field. Looking scary on paper is one thing. You still got to prove it on the field.
Right.
So it, at this point in time, we'll wait and see as we get closer to the start of the season. Then I can actually give you a better answer. But at this point in time, you know what? So many things can happen. A player can get hurt. They can do a lot of things. You just don't know what's going to actually happen. So, let's wait till OTAs get past, the draft, mini camps, the summer training camp. Let's get through all that first because, you can't win a championship in April. You still got to get through the season. Don't have with America's team says, how about those Cowboys? Well, we don't know. The Cowboys are just not doing a dang thing to help the team out, especially Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. They're being super cheap this offseason. I think this is the cheapest I've ever seen it. And, you know, all these, they're already starting up with, creating rumors with Micah Parsons and CD Lamb. It's just their old tricks again, trying to screw with the team and mess up with players' minds. And that's why a lot of these players are not going to be happy with the Cowboys or stay with the Cowboys. So Simply Anthony says 105.3 the fan makes the Dallas Cowboys more dislikable. I don't listen to them, so I cannot tell you. But I'll take your word for it. Nick says gonna get Brock Bowers. You talking about the Cowboys getting Brock Bowers, or who are you talking about? Well, if they get Brock Bowers, then if the Jets get Brock
Give
Bowers,
me
I'm
something. Unpopular.
happy. That's who they want. That's who they're gonna get. Ronald Proctor. How about them boys? Yes, sir. Elite 4501. Are the Steelers Super Bowl content? No. Even if they get IU, no. Unless Russell Wilson somehow becomes Russell Wilson of old, I just don't see that happening. Jay Soul, you know what? The thing is that there's always turmoil with the Cowboys every year, whether that's inside, outside, doesn't matter. It's always about what's on the field. We'll find out. 49ers says no cap space. Yep. Well, when you have a moron like Stephen Jones who doesn't like to actually fix contracts before the start of the year and actually get ahead of things, you ain't gonna have cap space. And then he also likes to restructure every contract on the roster. So yeah, we get screwed by the person who actually created the salary cap in the first place. Father Rooster says Eagles. Jack says most normal Cowboys fans. There's a few of us, you know. There are Cowboys fans that are very critical of the team, and we ain't about that. We're going to the Super Bowl every year. That just does not happen. Team Alvarez says, "Are you guys trading Dak Prescott? You can't. He has a no trade clause. So unless Dak is willing to say trade me, you cannot trade Dak. You can't even discuss a trade. So all these rumors about trading Dak, it ain't gonna happen, guys. You can stop with the trading Dak because he has a no trade clause. 49ers, I have to say this. Everyone gets on Jerry. I think this is actually the first year that we can actually get on Jerry for real and say that he is screwing up. Every other year that he has been the owner, he has put everything and anything he can to be put a team on the field to win a Super Bowl. There's got to be a time where the players got to take the responsibility and the brute of the force. Uh, Nick says, "What game are you going to go to this season? Are you referring to myself or Jedalorian?" Nick says Nick wants to know, Jedalorian, are the Jets going to have a good year this year?
Well, I'm actually hoping that they are. I mean, if we can stay healthy, first off, can you hear me, Cabo Lauren?
Yeah, we
Good.
got you. Hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good. Apologies, man, having some difficulties here, but for that question, yeah, I think that if the Jets can stay healthy and if Mike Williams can come in and stay healthy as well, I think the Jets are going to have a very productive season. Specifically, our defense is very stout. So I think that if Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy, and we won what 7 games last season, I think Aaron Rodgers is good for another 3. I think Aaron Rodgers can win us 3 games. With that defense, I think we'll have maybe a 10-win season. That's my prediction. That's my hope. Fingers crossed. That's what I think.
Okay. You don't think Rodgers can get you to 12 wins?
I think that would be pushing it. Remember that he's coming off an Achilles injury. Um, I think if anything more than the 3 games plus the 7 that we won, if we can do that, if he gives us anything more than that, it's going to be a plus. But you gotta think about the Chiefs. You got to think about the AFC. The AFC itself is very very tough.
But you all,
Um,
you all
if he
only
gives
got to
me
win
12
your
wins,
division.
I'll be
You
ecstatic.
only got to worry about 3 other teams.
Huh?
You only got to worry about 3 other teams to make the playoffs.
Well, I mean, still, it's the AFC, man. You got Cleveland, you got Cincinnati, you got the Chiefs, you're still gonna have to deal with the Dolphins. I mean, I don't like the Dolphins, but you're still gonna have to deal with them. You know what I mean? That it's you still have a tough way to get to 12 wins in the AFC. It's not as easy as we think. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, as long as you can get past the Dolphins, Patriots, and Bills, I mean, you all should be all right, and to make it to the playoffs at least. And what happens from there is
Yeah,
what happens from there.
yeah, no, exactly. I agree. But we have to see. We have to see what Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Which Aaron Rodgers is coming back. We have to see what Mike Williams is going to bring to the table. I mean, on our defensive side, we know what we've got. On our offensive side, we still have questions.
Yeah. All right. So Hector says the Texans play the Cowboys this year. Yeah, they do. We'll find again. We have to find out what happens on the field, guys. You know what actually happens right now is very very minimal because so many things can change between now and September. So let's pump the brakes on what's actually going on with free agency and all that stuff because so much can change. Injuries happen, players get suspended. You never know what can happen. So let's wait when we get closer to September, see how these teams shake out, and you know, and a lot of things can actually go wrong even once the season starts. You just never know.
No, and we also got to remember, Cowboy Learning, like we said in last week's show, the Texans are not going to surprise anybody this year. The teams are coming for them. Last year the Houston Texans were coming for other teams. This year the teams are shooting to beat them because they
Mm.
were so good. So you're not going to surprise anybody.
And it took a while for the Texans to actually cast their footing because they weren't doing good in the beginning of the year. They actually made a good strong push towards the back end of the season. They actually struggled majority of the year. So it's A lot of things can change between one year to the next. You can be a Super Bowl contender or even a Super Bowl participant, one year, and then the next year you're at the top five of the draft. So you just never know in the NFL. It's hard to win. Wicked Monkey, being a Jags fan, there is no room to talk about it. Trying to say Dallas, you didn't know Dallas had a team? Come on now. I didn't know Jacksonville had a team.
Hmm.
Hector, the Texans should be good. Let's put it that way. They should be good. But again, you have to see what is going to happen. Stroud is not going to surprise anybody with his arm. He's not going to surprise anybody with his legs moving forward. Teams are going to figure out the offense. They're going to figure out the little quirks of Stroud and how he plays that they're going to take away his strengths, unlike what they did this past year. So, all it takes is a few teams to figure it out. Just like what happened with Brock Purdy. He surprised everybody that first year. This he didn't surprise quite a few teams. He had some rough games. You know, you the second year is not always as easy as it was the first year.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have a heart attack right now for the simple reason is we got a 49ers fan on here saying I appreciate the dedication to your teams. 49ers are the Cowboys, but in red, and we get further but choke. I don't think I've heard a Niners fan actually come out and actually say that. I think that's a first.
Wow. Wow.
So respect to you 49ers. I give respect to you because you're actually the first person to actually come out and say that. Nick says Garrett Wilson, Williams, Rogers, and Brock Bowers are the GOAT this year. Again,
If we can get Bowers. That's
if
if we
we get
can get
Bowers,
Bowers.
but also how is the offense going to work? The OC has to step up because he definitely didn't help y'all last year. So
Well, we had Garrett Wilson, and then we had a bunch of guys that worked at 7-Eleven. I mean, think about that. So hopefully, more weapons, more opening for Brees Hall to run the ball, and if we can draft Bowers, he can control the middle of the field. That's going to give Mike Williams and Garrett Wilson a feast against defenses. So again, hoping and praying, fingers crossed, that we can do that. And maybe the offensive coordinator decides to show up to the game.
definitely, definitely. And before we go any further, make sure you click that like button. The more likes we get, the better off we can create more content for y'all. But also hit that follow or that subscribe button. We really appreciate it as well. Again, my name is Cowboy Lorian and my host Jetta Lorian. So make sure you follow us. We got some great content for y'all besides our Mando Huddle here.
Absolutely.
Sheila Fave 85. Neither team can win in the playoffs though. And what team are you supporting, Sheila Fave? 'Cause I don't see you supporting the team.
It always surprises me when say what?
I didn't say anything. I was waiting for you to finish.
No, it always surprises me when fans come out. Oh, your team's blow or you suck or whatever. Okay, what's your team? And then you get crickets. They don't tell you who their team is. So I'm like, whatever. I don't even bother dealing with you.
Yep. Ben Campbell, the Dacalorian. If you've ever watched my show, I'm not a proponent of Dak. I've not supported Dak very much. I think I've come out and said one or two nice things about Dak in 7 years. So, no. And Ben says, go Jags. What y'all do? What have y'all done? Come on now. Mike 4N, are you looking for any others? I have a Boba helmet and I'm a big Jags fan. We welcome all Mando fans.
Come
MLK.
on in, man. Come join us.
We have a group of Mandos, so we have Boba Jet. We have quite a few of them. So if you can get your helmet looking like a Jags helmet, come on. We welcome y'all. Bearded, I'm guessing Oliver. The thing went away on me. Hold on. Yep, Bearded Oliver says Jets Nation.
That nation, baby. Let's go.
Brad says y'all did nothing in free agency, and he goes, I'm a Pats fan. Y'all need to do a lot more in free agency to get over what y'all did this past season, Brad. The thing is the players
Hey,
that we lost were actually only role players, so it's not like we lost like really somebody that we can't replace. So, and again, it is April. It's not like we're talking in October saying, well, if we would have done this in free agency, it would have been better. We still got a lot more free agency. We have all the way up until all the way through training camp free agency. It's not over. MLK says, didn't we beat y'all in OT? 2 years ago. Then we used to beat y'all every year.
living in the past. That's all we got. Living in the past.
With Chiefs Kingdom, no argument. Have nothing to say. Chiefs have been winning, so can't say nothing. It took y'all a while, but hey, you know, great things come to those who wait, and y'all have to wait a long time. So, Chiefs Kingdom is always there. So, got to give it up to the Chiefs fans. Dan says the Cowboys should go to the Super Bowl every year, but yeah, that's the expectation. But the reality is that ain't gonna happen. 49er says, like calling Cap, nobody was used to him before. Also, pretty is still young. Yeah, he is still young, but he still his limitations have been shown, and until he actually overcomes those, that's where you know teams are going to attack him and make and honestly, your weakest point is actually not Purdy; it's your head coach. That's y'all's weakest point is your head coach, Niners. Why didn't the Cowboys go after Derrick Henry? Your guess is as good as mine. I couldn't tell you. Mr. Chain Clank says Cowboys all the way. Yes, sir. 49ers says it's depressing as a Niners fan. All that hype for no rings. One day, though. Yeah, that's what we're all hoping for. Every team that has not won in before or since their last one, that's what we're all hoping for. Who knows what's going to happen? Honey butter sequels are lame. I don't think me or Jet's going to argue with you on that one.
Mm-mm, definitely not.
Honey Butter says Eagles are the worst so-called team in sports history. I wouldn't say the worst team. I would actually put the Cardinals there before the Eagles. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. Hey, we got a Buffalo fan on here, Scott.
Welcome, welcome,
Boss,
Bills Mafia. Welcome.
I, I really want to know what's going on with Buffalo, man. I can't believe how many players they've gotten rid of this offseason. I don't know what y'all doing. It's actually really
You
shocking.
gotta ask him what. You gotta ask him what his thoughts are. What are you thinking, man? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. Like I
are you
said,
hoping for the best or
I
what?
want to know what your thoughts are on what your team has done because it's shocking to me all the defensive players they've gotten rid of. They just traded Diggs, who, yeah, he had his issues, but at the same time, he made Josh Allen. So, you know,
And
it
the biggest thing, Cowboy Lorian, is the fact that they traded him for a 2025 pick. Like they,
26,
what was the thought process in that?
2026 draft pick. And it was a third round pick, but it could turn into a second round depending on how much he plays.
Correct.
Little and olive branch because we can. That's why. He basically said he's a fan of the NFL and Star Wars, but why cross the two? Because we can.
Exactly.
Just like other things that can get crossed over, like the Lucha Libre. I see Niners fans, I see Buffalo fans, I see Houston fans, I see all kinds of fans wearing lucha masks. It doesn't matter. Like you can do whatever you want to do. If you can make it work, you make
Exactly.
it work. User and a bunch of numbers says Eagles front office is better than ours. I wouldn't say better because it's only produced one chip. Yes, they can sign a bunch of players. Yes, they can get these good players on the team. But if it ain't amounting to Super Bowl after Super Bowl like the Chiefs, it's not that great of a front office. Yeah, it sounds good on paper, but if you ain't winning the last game of the year and holding up the trophy, it's all for naught. And that's for any team, not just one team, not just the Eagles. That's any team. Because how many teams go out and sign all these big free agents, and it amounts to nothing. Jetta Lorian has experienced this quite often. His team's gone out and gotten, a lot of those big name free agents over the years, and they still and even drafting these high picks, and it's not helping. It's not helped them.
I mean, it took us with Rex Ryan. He did it. Took us to two AFC Championship games, but we still fell short of the goal, which is the Super Bowl. So, yeah, you can blow your cap and bring the best players in, but if they don't gel, you're not going nowhere.
Strange Blue Mass says, "Where did you get the helmets?" I made mine, and Jetta Lorian has a mad scientist that does some incredible work. So reach out to Jetta Lorian, and he might. If you're nice enough to him, he might send you his hookup guy that might be able to hook you up. But you got to be extra nice to Jetta Lorian. He's already
Definitely,
had it rough
definitely.
being a Jets fan, so you got to be extra nice.
Yeah, man. If you come at me sideways, you're not getting no help.
Scott, our Buffalo fan, just says, "Bro, I know, man. I feel sorry for Buffalo fans. Bills Mafia. I honestly feel sorry for y'all. Y'all went
And
to
truth
four
is,
Super Bowls.
As a Jet
Y'all
fan,
went to four straight Super Bowls. I don't think that'll ever happen again. Y'all went to 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yeah,
Two of
and
them,
as a
those first two you technically should have won, but your kicker, and I forgot what happened with one of the other
mhm.
ones, but your kicker screwed up one, and I forgot what happened with the other Super Bowl. Forgive me about that. And then, of course, you met Dallas, who was just on the rise. We won't talk about much about that.
And
But
yeah,
lately,
and as a
y'all
Jets
have
fan,
had the team to go to the Super Bowl.
yeah, they do. They actually do. And the truth is, as a Jets fan, I feel bad for them, not because, I'm not trying to talk down to a Buffalo Bills fan, but because they deserve better. The truth is, they have an extraordinary team, and they just blew it up. And now that backs them up at least another 2 years. Josh Allen now has to play with new people and learn, new people. It's sad for Buffalo. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, you see the Bills fans, and you know what? Bills fans are actually really really cool. I've met quite a few over the years. One of my college roommates was a Bills fan, so it was always fun with him. but but no, like you see the Bills Mafia out there, in the frigid cold of Buffalo, Orchard Park, freezing their tails off, but they having a blast. They're jumping through tables, they're drinking beer, they're barbecuing, and they deserve to actually, get to where they want to get to, but I don't know what is going on with the front office or the ownership. It doesn't make sense because y'all have had the team to do it. I know you guys had a little bit of bad luck, but still, it's y'all have had the ability to do it. Honey butter. Here's the problem: the Cardinals, to the Arizona Cardinals, the Cowboys are their Super Bowl. They always come to play the Cowboys. If you're not familiar with how teams play the Cowboys, it doesn't matter what their record is. If they're 0 and 15, 1 and 14, 1 and 16, it doesn't matter. Every team comes to the Cowboys. You should know this. The Cardinals and Cowboys have a very, very stiff rivalry because they were in the same division for a long, long time. They come to play the Cowboys. So it I don't know why it seems so unusual to think that no team can actually beat the Cowboys. They come to play, and if Dallas doesn't show up, they
Mhm.
get beat. It doesn't matter if they should beat a team. Again, a team can suck all season long, but if they play the Cowboys, they're gonna get up for that game. Uh, Blood on Oliver Brands is a Bengals fan. He finally said who he actually likes. So our Bills fan says Bean, who their GM is, what their GM is, knows what he's doing. I hope so. For y'all's sake, I hope so.
Because
Claude, how you doing? Welcome,
that's a
Cowboys fan.
job changing decision.
Fern Dog says it's all about the 49ers, homie. Uh, I'm gonna stay quiet, Joe. I'll let you take this one. Talking about the Niners, I'm gonna say because you know where I'm gonna go.
I mean, I have total respect for the 49ers, the team. But when they had a chance to win the Super Bowl twice, and they didn't. So at the end, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, we respect all fans here, Cowboy Lauren. Correct? We do. I mean,
Yep.
you want what's best for your team. That's that.
Ferndale says Cowgirls are far away from the Super Bowl. Well, y'all far away from winning the Super Bowl if you guys keep a coach named Shanahan at the helm because he's blown 2 Super Bowls for you in the exact same form and fashion. See, I tried. I tried, Jet. They got to make me say
I
it.
know you do.
They try to be nice to
I
Niner
know, I
fans,
know.
and they gonna bring it out of me. Scott, Bills fan says I like talking trash to Jets fans, but it's all good fun, bro. That again, if it's all in jest, it's all in fun. We're cool with it. In all honesty, I take subtle jabs at Jet. Jet takes subtle jabs at me, but we have fun with it. Same with other team super fans. Birdman, who's the Eagles fan, I have fun with. Sneaky G, who's a Giants fan, I have fun with. We all have fun with each other. We hate the other team. We hate the other person's team, but when it comes to fans, we respect each other as a fan, and we have fun. We can have fun, making fun of each other or making fun of each other's teams, but we have fun with it. That's the thing. We ain't going at each other's throats because there's no point. You got to respect who a person likes.
Exactly, exactly. And it's the same thing with the Bills. I mean, we go back and forth. The Jets and the Buffalo Bills go back, back and forth, and the fans. But it's all in due fun. Now, the Patriots. Now, I'm going to talk to the Bill fan that had said that. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and we all hate the Patriots. So you know how that goes.
Scott says I want revenge on the Cowboys. I think y'all got revenge during the regular season, at least. I don't know when we're gonna meet up in the Super Bowl again. I thought might have happened. What was it? What was it talked about this past year? They thought it would be the Bills Cowboys again, or the year prior, something like that. I thought that would have been an awesome Super Bowl, a renewed
Hmm.
rivalry at the Super Bowl. So I thought that would be awesome, but it's basically a dream for a while. Mr. Perfect, thank you for the roses. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Well, honey butter, I'm gonna say that maybe the reason we keep losing to the Cardinals is because you're there. If you've been to 5 straight Cowboys versus Cardinals games and we lost every single one, you might be the bad luck charm. Try not showing up to that game and see if we win. Let's go there. Mike, we don't care if it's baseball season, basketball season, hockey season. Football season is a never ending thing. It's a 365. 365. Rogelio, who cares? Who cares? We don't care about a week 5 loss. It don't mean nothing. You didn't win the Super Bowl after you beat us 42-10. That didn't get you the number 1 seed. You still have to play a whole season. You want to say 42-10? I say 4-2, which means that we're four wins in the NFC Championship against the Niners, who've only beat us twice. So 42-10 means very little. I could care less. We've beaten y'all plenty of times before in the past, and I could really care less about those scores because they mean jack unless it was the NFC Championship. Cinder says, "Is it the season this year?" Not the way the things are going, but sometime in December or January, let you know. Your boy's on here, Jet. Mr. Levi says, "Man, I wish I was a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan 24/7, 365."
What's up, Cowboy Levi?
What's up, Levi? How you doing, boss?
What's up, brother?
We know you a 24/7, 365 Cowboys fan, Levi. We know this for facts. So let's talk a little bit about the draft there, Jet. Has anything changed on the Jets front about trading up, trading back? Um, I know you're kind of heart set is on Bowers, but you know, have has the consensus changed? Uh, Watching mock drafts or anything like that?
Um, hmm. I'm still high on Bowers. I think that he's just a guy that can control the middle. That he's going to be very hard for a linebacker. He reminds me a lot of Gronkowski, just faster. He's hard to cover with a linebacker, because he's just that mobile, and then he's too big for a safety. So he reminds me of that. He reminds me of that kind of player. So I'm still high on him. I do think that the Jets are probably gonna go with him. If not, they'll probably go with the offensive line. But I'm big on Bowers. I think that's where they should go. Another weapon for Aaron Rodgers. What about you guys? Are you guys looking at anything changing for you guys in the draft or what?
Well, being in the back end of the draft, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Hey, my boy, Starboy. Yes, sir. This is the way. He's God's Cowboys for life, sir. Got a few more Cowboys fans on here. Yes, sir. We ain't traded CD Lamb. I don't know where you heard that. CD Lamb hasn't been traded. But no, the only thing that you hear on the Cowboys front, in all honesty, is we need linemen, offensive and defensive. We need running backs. We need linebackers. So it's just going to be a matter of who's there when we draft. You
Hmm.
know, when you get to the back, the 16, I'm going to say, because being there's 32 teams, the first 16 picks are always, for the most part, unless there's always that surprise draft pick that someone who's supposed to be a second rounder or a late first rounder gets picked up early. But the back end is really the best available. Now,
Right.
what the best available actually means to uh, different teams, you know, is the big thing.
Right. Sorry if you guys hear my son in the background. Apologize.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's really hard to say.
Yeah. Are you guys gonna re-entertain signing? What's the running back that you guys had that you guys released this last year?
Pollard,
No, he went to the Patriots. What's his name?
Zeke.
Yeah. Are you guys thinking about
Um,
him?
that's talked about. Who knows? We'll see.
Hmm.
Everything is honestly everything is on the table for every player that's currently available. So, I mean, you still
Right.
have some good players that are still highly available. It's just a matter of Jerry and Steven making moves to actually free up cap space for us to sign these players.
Hmm.
Levi says, "This is a dumb rumor," or "I don't know the reason why Dak buying Las Vegas, meaning he's going to Las Vegas." That's just a rumor. And, people, and this is the one thing I'm starting to hate about some of these supposed Dallas Cowboy fan groups on Facebook, especially Facebook, is they're putting up these dumb rumors of Cowboys signed this player or they traded this player, and like none of it is true. It's like if you're like if you're any team's uh group, why would you be posting false information or creating a false story to be clicked on? Like like that's the dumbest thing possible.
Yeah.
Adler Smith, we're talking about the Packers. You know what? I couldn't tell you. Cowboys, I couldn't tell you either. We're in April, so who knows? Oh, what happened? It looks like we lost our live to TikTok there, Jet.
We lost TikTok. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
Hold on. Oh,